Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Rochelle J. Here's a look at your hurricane season update for June 20th, 2024. So we do have now tropical depression Alberto moving over Mexico, but we're also watching an area north of the Bahamas, as well as another system that we're expecting to develop as we look toward the areas of Central America, and similar areas to where Alberto did form. So let's take a look at the satellite picture here. So I'm showing you kind of Gulf of Mexico and surrounding areas here. So you do see that area north of the Bahamas, just east of Florida, but you also do see Alberto swirling over Mexico right now, still affecting some areas of Texas as well, but mostly affecting central areas of Mexico as it continues to push off to the west. Here's a look at the National Hurricane Center. As mentioned, Alberto is now down to a tropical depression, became a tropical storm late on Wednesday morning, and we've got those two other areas that we're watching. One is called now Invest 92L, has a 40% chance of becoming tropical within the next 2 days, and then we have another system that we're still waiting for that to form. We'll talk a little bit more about those as we get later on into the video. So let's talk a bit more about Alberto. Again, down to a tropical depression. Here's a look at the satellite imagery from Alberto from your Thursday morning. We do still have a few areas of some lightning strikes being detected on the more eastern side of the storm, and we're seeing fewer of those purple colors indicating the highest cloud tops, the coldest cloud tops. So we are seeing Alberto losing some strength. Of course, going from tropical storm to tropical depression means that it's losing some strength as well, but you do still see packing quite a bit of a punch over areas of Mexico as we're heading into the second half of Thursday. Watching that system just pushing back off to the east for Alberto. We're going to watch and see what it does once it gets off of land and into the far eastern Pacific within the next couple of days. But again, it's losing strength, but still causing some issues for some folks in central Mexico. Now I want to take you back to the National Hurricane Center. We've got that system called Invest 92L. Small area of low pressure, about 150 miles east of the northernmost Bahamas, producing disorganized shower and storm activity, but it's also bumping up against some dry air. So that's going to kind of try and limit the development that we'll see from 92L. Could see a tropical depression, they're saying. It's moving about 10 to 15 miles off to the west, northwest, approaching the coast of Florida or Georgia early on Friday. So 40% chance for both 48 and 7 days, but doesn't look like it's probably going to last 7 days. And they're saying also Air Force recon aircraft scheduled to investigate this system on Thursday afternoon. So we'll keep an eye on that. So let's take you to something. Let's see if this wants to load for me. As usual, I'm having issues with this video, but let it take its time. Let's look at the storm information for 92L while that tries to load. If it doesn't, we'll go to something else. So here's a look at 92L. You can see, let's zoom in to some of these outputs, kind of the direction that this system is expected to move in northwest, and then possibly taking a hook at some point and moving off to the north and east. But northern coast of Florida to the Georgia coastline is really where we're watching with this system. And as far as intensity guidance goes, right now, these models that we're looking at here, these are keeping it below that tropical storm force. So again, maybe a tropical depression, but the chances for it becoming a tropical storm a little bit on the lower side for Invest 92L. And you can see that location early this morning here over toward the left side of your screen, that first panel on the left side of your screen. Here's a look at the water vapor imagery. So you see Alberto, very well defined, but you also see 92L off of that coast of Florida. Has some decent activity happening with it, but you're seeing that orange to the north, orange to the south, and then orange yellow, more yellow back off to the west. That's where we're seeing that dry air that 92L is fighting up against. And storms don't like dry air. They don't like shear. They don't like dry air. They're both inhibiting factors for storm development, storm strengthening. So that's what 92L is up against, but about a half shot for it becoming at least a tropical depression. I want to show you something called vorticity. This shows us where we have spin in the atmosphere, and also it is showing you height, so it places high and low pressure based on the height of the 500 millibar surface level. So here's a look at that. This is starting, I'm starting this a little too early. Let's send this back. Let's go to Thursday afternoon. If you look north of the Bahamas, you can see some small areas of yellows and reds. That's Invest 92L. As I take you in time, you see how it's moving off to the west and northwest. So here we are early on Friday. Just north of that, there's this circle that says 5940. I don't need you to pay attention to the numbers specifically. However, we do have high pressure. That's with that circle, those numbers, that's indicating high pressure. Clockwise flow around high pressure means that things in that area likely to move to the west and northwest, and that's exactly what we're watching with Invest 92L. So here we are on Friday evening. You still see small areas of yellow and red on this vorticity map, showing where we do still have some of that cyclonic counterclockwise flow with Invest 92L. So we have a little bit of it as we're heading Saturday into Sunday. So we'll keep an eye on that to see when it does eventually make that anticipated hook back off to the north and east versus north and west, which is the movement that it has right now. So with 92L, there is a level 1 out of 4 risk for flash flooding, exceeding the flash flooding threshold for some areas of Florida and Georgia, including Brunswick, Georgia, St. Augustine, Daytona Beach, just outside of Gainesville, Titusville included in that, and not too far off from Kissimmee, Florida as well. So we also do have that other system that we're anticipating to form in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico within the next couple of days. Environmental conditions appear conducive for gradual development as it moves over the Bay of Campeche on Saturday. We could see a tropical depression form, but it does have a low chance within 48 hours. But as we head into 7-day time frame, up to a 50% chance, so a half and half shot exactly of becoming at least a tropical depression. So we could see some of those same areas affected by Alberto, what is now Alberto, be affected by another system with maybe some rain, maybe some stronger winds as we head into later this weekend, early next week. So if you are interested, thank you so much for watching. You can find me on Linktree. I have links to all of my social media pages there. I am just about everywhere. My website's available, my media kit, as well as a demo reel as well. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can check that out in the description or somewhere on my page, depending on where you are watching this video. I do appreciate you watching this so much. I hope you have a wonderful first day of summer, a great summer ahead of you as well, and a great weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Please consider following and or subscribing, again, depending on where you're watching this, social media versus YouTube, which is a little bit different. Please consider following, subscribing, doing all of the great things. I would very much appreciate that. That would help my channel and my pages out so much if you would do that, but I'm rambling. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.